Another Arknights anniversary is coming to an end, so why don't we have a look at the event's mechanics and story? And also why don't we talk a little bit about the overlap we had with Trials for Navigator? Ideal City was, to me, the most fun I had in a long time, and I always have fun when playing this game. The cars are just mesmerizing to watch, bouncing back and forth, freezing and demolishing everything. Of course, we had those surfer dudes to stop our fun, but they leave them as little to no hassle in all of the stages. Yes, even in ICS2. And Minimalist was such an interesting boss. I know this is an unpopular opinion and many got really angry with him being a flying boss and having a refreshing shield and whatnot, but when you stop to look at what he does and all the path he takes in his 3 stages, it's not that big of a deal. It takes a long time to go away, and from what I've seen, most of the difficult people encountered was because of trying to spawn kill him. I myself had a hard time when trying bears against ICS4, and ultimately couldn't really do it, but niche should never be a metric for stage difficulty. You can even see that the X8 was way harder than S4, but I did beat that one with bears. But what about trials? That one got people very tired, me included. It was such a fun event, fighting multiple bosses in sequence with a single squad? Sign me in. That unfortunately only lasted for a single week and we had to play it together with Ideal City. It got me by surprise, I didn't even remember to get footage from it. But being surprised by it was only on me, because CN had it the same way. And if you look at the dates, they actually had it worse, because CC10 started for them right as TN ended. They had both TN and CC during Ideal City. Yostar really gave us a briefer. And don't worry about the schedule, we are still safe. CN had a full dead week after CC, we have time to fix everything. And as of right now, we are completely on schedule. With that out of the way, let's have a look at the main dish. The event's story. IC had a very weak story for AK standards. We have this little fella coming to the surface asking for help because his city is about to encounter calamity. Ilan fights him, accepts to help, all the gang hears about it and comes to save the day. But what is there to save? Gavial got a new battle gear to face anything and everything, but all we find is a place to party and tons of kegs of mead for Elysium to chug down. Well, there is a real threat, but the focus of the story is much more on the characters. Ideal City is the story of Stitch Canvas, adoring with inferiority complex learning the powers of friendship, and the story of Avdotya Razorpen, a loop versus girl who says she's adoring, learning to accept reality once again. The situation going on is that Stitch's mentor, Pinch Canvas, made the dome for Zyrarta, but then he went away. No one knows why. But we do. It was to let Stitch be independent and develop his potential as a designer. Stitch closed himself after that, and even stopped making projects for the city. But life doesn't stop when you do, and the dome broke, and with it, the Originium detection equipment. At least they got a big waterfall because of it. The Originium equipment is what Stitch wants to fix, and later we learned that it is indeed a huge deal. The whole thing will explode because veins of Originium grew while the detection equipment was offline. I just really want to point out how funny it is for the Ring technology to be so developed, but Stitch has no clue how to fix the railway to be able to reinstall the detection equipment anyway. Meanwhile, Avdotya was a noble in Ursus, who got caught in the messed up war for power of her family, and ultimately had to run away for her life, until, when she thought she had no strength left, she stumbled upon Zerwarta, and found herself a new home in a paradise, a place with no war, no mess, and lots to drink. What else may a girl want? She became friends with the Durin, and got accepted as one of them. She even changed her name to be more like a Durin. Her real name is Avdotya Nikolaevna Ivanona. It's quite a struggle for her to accept the arrival of the Rhodes squad, as she's really on the defensive when it comes to other people from the surface. But after lots of partying, the crew does start working on fixing the railway, and they find out about the Originium veins that will certainly destroy the whole Zerwarta. The only reasonable solution they find is to get all the people out of the city to the surface, something never done before in the history of the Durin. Thankfully for them, even though they are hundreds of thousands, there are no political issues to be dealt with, as long as they stay under the protection of the Akahuala leader, because Zerwarta just so happens to be under the Sargonian rainforest, Gavial's land. But even though this is a minor issue, it is still an issue. Akahuala does not have a proper leader. The only thing close to that right now is Inan, and you can understand that if you look at what happened in the Gavial the Great Chief Returns event. Everyone in Akahuala loves Gavial, but she left to be a medic, doesn't regret it, and for a moment she faces the decision to take the leadership and give up medicine in order to save hundreds of thousands of lives. But she got friends who got her back. Both Tomimi and Zumama are willing to give up their current lives at Rhodes to take this position in place of Gavial. In the end, Inan ends up taking the role. But what we really need to appreciate is not this problem that got resolved easily in the cheesiest way possible. It's Gavial's character development, how her friends really are there for her and want her to continue with her dream. We need to appreciate how Pozionka grew from the most scared loop I've ever seen to the one to convince the entire Zero Archer population to go to the surface. And the best of all of them, how Stitch learned to stop closing himself and live on without his mentor, show the world his potential, and be the great designer he really is, even if he has neuropathy and undoubtedly will die at an early age. Something really cool the Durin do, and I think this is an awesome flavor to put in a race's story. They do expect their cities to suffer from calamity at least once in their lives, and when the time comes, they renovate their cities and leave them as shiny as they possibly can, as some kind of message to the world and to whoever finds the remains of the cities, that they were great and fought as hard as they could even if nature decided it was over for them. Oh yeah, I didn't mention, Butsumama became friends with a lot of robots, but that was Ideal City. Tell me if you like this event, and what do you think about overlaps like Trials? I hope everyone have a very nice day. Peace out!